But Dave, let's end the podcast doing what you and I do oh so very well. Sean is not here. Dad is not here to see what we are doing on the podcast. So we are going to talk about a dirty topic, a topic that Dad doesn't want us to talk about. And that is the Chicago Bulls. Our Chicago Bulls, as both you and I are Bulls fans on the podcast. And
absolutely.
Here's basically the whole theme of this segment is we are 9 games through. 10th game is tonight as we're recording it. They're at halftime, I believe, tied with the Rockets.
You're questioning, like you had the scoreboard
I
up.
don't know if they scored in the last 3
we're actually
seconds.
winning.
So, see, we did score in the last 3 seconds. 56-54 as we were recording this, so you can know exactly where we were when we were having this conversation. But we are 2-7 through the first 9. The basis of this segment, Dave, and I'm going to let you go first, is how should Bull fans feel after the first 9.5 games of the season?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Sorry, I had like a weird little burp coming off.
I heard it. It was like a little rumble grumble in your throat.
I was like, is it going to be an actual burp? No, just the top of a burp squeaking out. That was great. Pretty good, though. I think this Bulls team is doing a lot with a lot of injured pieces. So what we've successfully seen is Zach LaVine looks healthy. And I know he was a guy who I was talking about being a stud. And you're like, I want to see him prove it to me.
He proved it. He's proved it to me. Through 9 games, all right. I'm not talking bad about Zach LaVine.
Really?
He has proved it.
Wonderful.
I believe in him.
Wonderful, because I think going into this year was very much he and Jabari were both, the 2 guys coming off big injuries. Zach LaVine has showed that he has it, and he is on. He is all in. He's a great shooter. He gets to the basket at will.
Well, it's like
he's just bouncing out there.
The Pacer game, he splits through him, gets to the basket, and I text you, I'm like, Zach LaVine is good at basketball.
Yeah, that's an accurate description of Zach LaVine's play. He's good at basketball. The rest of this team, obviously, I'd love to see a healthy Lauri Markkanen out there. I'd love to see him with Zach, with our point guard, the real KD. I mean, it's just, we're not there yet. So for what we're doing right now, I'm okay. I wish to God that we had everybody healthy and everybody happy, but for now, Hutch has been okay. He's been a defensive presence out there, which we don't have much of. His length, his speed has led us to something, but really, we're just in shootouts at this point. We don't play defense very well. So it's all on Zach LaVine to go out there and drop 30-plus a night, which he has been. So kudos to him on that. Honestly, the biggest thing that I'm disappointed is Jabari Parker. He's a guy I expected to make a bigger impact this year. He has not been as good. And obviously now with Bobby missing some time, we'll see both Bobby and Lowry out. We'll see what Jabari can do with more minutes and potentially more of a featured role on this team. Because he really needs to step up in my mind. He's got a $20 million contract. He needs to prove it.
We brought him in for a reason.
It was a 1-year flyer, to be fair.
True.
It's a we don't lose too much next year if we don't if you don't play up to it, and
But if you do play well, we can pick up your option.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see where he's at. Wendell Carter Jr. so far so good. Not overexposing him, but he's good. There's some time where I'm like, he should really get some more minutes. Other times where I'm like, I could see why Rolo still needs to be in this game. Yeah. But actually, it's been Felicio. I take it back. It's been Felicio in games.
But I mean, Wendell is still developing.
Right.
And he's a rookie.
Yeah, he's super young.
He's also not one of those players I'm going to throw LeBron out there where it's like, all right, you're putting him in game 1 knowing, okay, he can hold his own. I'm not saying Wendell can't, but it's like you're still having those growing pains.
Yeah.
Early in a young NBA season.
Yeah, no. So I think we're feeling good. I don't want to say anything bad about this team yet. Yes, we're 2-7, but I don't expect us to be world beaters with half of our starting rotation
Take the record,
hurt.
throw it out the window. That's how I'm seeing the season.
Let the kids play.
And the thing I'm going to say now, I should have said this before the season, but after 9 games, the mindset that I have about this team is the same mindset that I had about the Bears pre-Khalil Mack trade. Of where the Bears, the offseason, I said, hey, this is going to be a Bears team with Matt Nagy coming in. You're going to be in a lot of games this year. You're going to be in the thick of it. But you're going to lose those games. You're going to lose 3-point games, 7-point games. You're going to be like, oh, if we had those 4 games back, we'd be a playoff team.
You'd be right there.
The Bulls looking right now, same thing. Detroit, we lose by 2. You look at Charlotte, we only win by 2. Yeah, Charlotte, we played them on the road, and they kind of showed up. But it's like you've got the Denver game was close. The Pacer game was close. And that's what I feel like. There are going to be games this year where we just get the shillelagh just beat over our head. The Warriors. And this is one thing I'm going to say.
Jesus Christ, that game.
I am going to say an aside. The thing that pisses me off, gets my Bulls blood boiling the most, is when I watch First Take and I see Stephen A. Smith, who I will say I respect as a journalist, I respect as a TV personality, hearing him say that when they were asking, like, oh, is this the Warriors being too good or the Bulls being too bad? This is not the Warriors can do this to anybody on any given night if they felt like it. Like, Clay can have this night any night he feels like. Now, are the Bulls good? No, we're not.
I say it's pretty much us and the Suns at the bottom. We're who can give up more points? And it's a 50-50 chance.
But the thing I find the funniest about it, we lose by that many against the Warriors. At home, we play the Nuggets. Sean's third best team in the West.
Yep.
Take them to overtime, only lose by 2.
Yeah,
and we were in that game where we could have or should have won that game, depending on how you want to look at
it. Stupid mistakes. We're a young team. We're going to make those mistakes.
Indiana, we went on it. I even tweeted about it. We went on an 11-0 run, went up 99-93.
Yeah.
Lose it 107-105.
Heartbreaking shit.
And what you said, the first thing that I don't harp on enough, we do have injuries. Portis is out. Markin is out. Dunn is out. And Dunn has been quoted as saying he's going to be a leader off the bench.
Yeah.
But that's not, that's good, but it's not the same of actually being out there.
Doesn't fix the gameplay. To be fair, Campaign's out there, and he's shooting well. He's playing well. Archie Diacono, so far, so good.
Said his name right.
I love his name.
Articuno.
I love Articuno. My favorite Pokemon. Not really, actually, even. But he's a good player, but he shouldn't be getting this many minutes. Look, his offensive rating, though, per 100 possessions is like 142. That offense runs when he's out there. I think that's kind of about him and Blakeney, to be honest. I like them. I love Blakeney last year in the G League. He was popping off a lot.
He had a shot against the Pacers where it was like he just hit it from 3. Stacy went crazy.
Oh, no.
The stadium went crazy.
He's one of those guys, so I'm happy we're developing him, and I'm hoping he's going to be a long-term contributor on this Bulls team. He's the guy we basically chose over Nwaba anyway, so... Cool with that.
However, tonight, and I know we're looking at this as the Bulls are playing. Tonight, he's not having a good game, but he's only played 6 minutes. 0 of 2 from the field, no points.
Totally fine.
We're playing the Rockets, though, which in my
head...
Who
knows? The Rockets should be a good team.
I mean, James Harden came back tonight, and we're in a contest with them, tied as we are recording this. Here's the thing I'm conflicted with, Dave, and this is the part of my part where Bulls fans are going to get pissed off at me.
Sure.
So... I'm saying after 9 games, I feel like this will be what I said about the Bears. We'll be in games. We'll show flashes, but we might not win a lot of games. I'm not going to use the T word because people get upset when you use the T word.
Yeah.
But I would not be upset if this season becomes a, hey, I see some good things from this team. Zach LaVine looks like he's our number 1, and he has proven to me. It's not like at the beginning of the year where I'm like, let's see if Zach can prove it. He's proven it. This is why we didn't let him go to Sacramento. This is why.
Yep.
But we don't win enough games to where we do get like a top 10 pick, a top 5 pick.
I mean, right now,
we're the 5.
We're right in.
I know it's early.
Yeah.
But I mean...
How much better could we get?
That to me is what I'm looking at. And I mean, I get one of the main reasons why we're at this point is the Dunn injury, the Markkanen injury. If those two are playing, maybe we win a couple more games to where we're more in the
having our best score from last
12.
year and having our point guard from last year.
Exactly. It's not rocket science. But
exactly.
There's part of me that looks at it and goes, the perfect win-win for me this season will to see this team grow, to see this team be in games close, learn while being a young team, and being a high enough pick. Because like you said, when we were, this was off the podcast, I believe. It could have been in Wet Boys, but I think it was off the podcast. I mentioned the 7th overall pick, and you said this draft might not be that deep. Of course, we even dove into that.
I'm so excited to start doing that, by the way.
It starts, technically for the NBA, starts this Monday will be the first big board.
Yeah, it does.
And college basketball games start Tuesday, I believe. So it's really the whole season now is just
I'm getting excited.
starting to gear up. But if the Bulls were a top 5 pick, right now in mock drafts, if the Bulls were a top 3 pick based off a lottery and got one of the Dookies, like, I'm looking at right now, of course, I'm looking number 1 pick-wise. Could you imagine, all right, we're going to throw out, we've got Wendell or Bobby, well, Bobby depending on offseason stuff, but I mean.
Bobby's a 6-man.
You've got Wendell at the 5, Markin at the 4, Levine at your 2 or your 3, matched with R.J. Barrett.
No, Levine's at the 2.
R.J.
Barrett's
at
the
3, and then you have Chris Dunn as your 1.
Or Cam Reddish. You know, I'm good with either one of them.
Well,
so we'll have to wait. I want to wait and watch them actually play against, like, not Canadian competition, no offense. But, like, that was sort of like a show off.
Swatting the ball at a D2 opponent.
We could have Zion out there.
Dude, I would welcome Zion. I would get a Zion jersey.
Oh, my God. Absolutely. Instead of Williamson on the back, would it just say Zion, though?
Yeah. Zion. Well, and then it's a 2 thing, because then people just think I'm from Zion, which is a suburb of Chicago. So
there you go.
It's a win-win there. But, I mean, that to me would be the perfect season of, yes.
Well, we'd have to move Robin Lopez and move probably Holiday as well for me to feel good about this season. Like, I'm just sorry. Those are 2 guys who have value, who someone will pay money for.
Rolo is one where we can't Pau Gasol it. Like, I don't want another, we get to the deadline is passed. This, I don't want to say waste of space, because he's not a waste of space.
He's not. He is an above average NBA center.
Especially against other mascots.
The Tyson Chandler thing's a bummer, because like we could have got something out of them.
We got to have that guy that keeps the other mascots in line. They can't mess with our team. And that's what Rolo's going to do.
Love Rolo.
But I mean, he's a guy that if we can get a deal, get a pick or something out of him.
Same
Why
with
not
Holiday.
Go ahead and do
if we can get something out of Holiday, same thing.
But like, that's the thing also. And this Bulls team this year is not going to be us competing for a playoff spot.
I think it's how many stats can you put up. That's what I want to know. I want to know
how
if
good
Jabari
can you make us
and
feel
Levine,
about the future.
Yeah, if Jabari, Levine, and we get to see a healthy Lowry Markkanen and healthy KD back out there, like, give me those 4. Wendell, same thing. That's my lineup. Let's just roll with it and let's see what happens.
What else do you need to see from Jabari? Because I feel like Zach LaVine is checking all my boxes right now.
Oh my God, yeah.
But what do you need? Because you said Jabari is one where you want to see more from.
He's fucking lethargic out there. Like, he is the definition
of, that just be...
I'm going to slow down this team, and I'm going to slow down the offense, and I'm not going to give the effort on defense.
Do you think that's fixable, or is that something that we may have to look at?
His offensive rating is a 96 this year. Per 100 possession. That's terrible. Like, if you know, like, how much are we scoring this year? And his rating is a 96. He slows ball movement on that offense. He in the sorry, I'm getting frustrated because it's like,
is this something though where, and I'm going to jump
it's a Jabari problem.
Is this something where if this doesn't get fixed this year, don't take the option, and you're hurting us more than you're helping us?
I don't know that I would pay him $20 million next year, because I might take a flyer on somebody else at that point. Look, can he put up points? Yes, but he takes the offensive momentum and just shits on it. And if I had to choose between him or Bobby Portis, I might pay Bobby Portis.
You're like, I'll give that money to Bobby.
I might give that money to Bobby, because I don't think Bobby wants $20 million. I think we can get Bobby for like 14 maybe.
Bobby will put in the energy, you know.
Exactly.
He'll
That's
be
the thing.
Putting in the work in the gym, basically.
The effort's going to be there from Bobby. Bobby plays small ball 5 instead of 4, and he actually plays defense. So no. To me, Bobby's more valuable than Jabari Parker is right now. Jabari, I haven't seen the effort, and I need to see that defense. Or I'm just. Let me be honest. He don't play defense. He made that clear. The Bulls don't play very good defense. Anyway, I need to see. Maybe it's the problem of having no backup point guard. Maybe it's Archie Diacono out there instead of Campaign with that second unit, and that might be whatever. But I just told you, Archie Diacono's offensive rating's a 142.
Yep.
The ball moves. He puts it in. Everybody eats. And that's my problem is Jabari Parker is not a very pass-heavy guy. When the ball hits his hand,
well, it's just this NBA
possession slow down. He has more dribbles than most
Mm-hmm.
power forwards out there. So it's just it slows down the pace, and that's a problem for this team, and that's a problem for the Fred Hoiberg offense. I don't think he's a great fit here. Well, as much as I want the hometown hero to come back and have his success story, like I'm not seeing the fit yet. He will have his chance in the next 2 weeks to see what he can do without any other real power forwards on the roster really threatening anything. So I would really love to see him full in. Sure, but as of right now, not impressed.
And the thing that's going to be interesting, too, is coming up after, because we've got the Rockets tonight as we're recording, close game.
Yeah.
But then it's like, At New York, that'll be an interesting one. At the Pelicans will be interesting too because they've been really good. But if let's say AD going to play, exactly, we'll see what happens.
Watching Nico come back.
Cleveland on your birthday should be very winnable.
Yeah.
It's at home too, so should be very winnable. Dallas is going to be fun. Luka gets to come to the UC on that's a Monday night game.
I want to go to that actually.
And then we've got the rough three of the 14th through the 17th at Boston, at Milwaukee, home against Toronto. LLL. That's what I'm thinking. Like, not a bad thing.
Give me entertaining L's. That's all I asked for.
Give me close.
Give me
L's.
Levine dropping 36 a night.
I'm
okay with that.
Give me L's.
I think everyone in Chicago's okay with that.
Like, give me L's that I can sit there and go, yeah, this team. Like in a year from now, this team gonna be good. And the thing that I love most watching this team is I love it. Like I love it because for me, I'm looking more at the fan base. Like guys like I'm gonna bring Stephen A up again because he's not a Bulls guy. He's even said like. He made the comment of like, from November to March, I don't even want to fly over Chicago. I don't want to be nowhere near Chicago. It gets too damn cold in Chicago. And I'm sitting there going, Molly, I think it's Molly, was like, but you live in New York. He goes, it's a different animal in Chicago. I'm sitting here going, well, Dave, if you can't handle the cold here in Chicago, your character's not tough enough. Because that's what it does. It just toughens up our character. We're just a different animal here in Chicago. And then if you're a bad quarterback, we'll tell you suck. But then... It's basically like, give me that fight. Give me those close games. And then be like, okay, two things. Who we going to get in the draft with this nice pick that we got?
Absolutely.
But number two, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach was one when he came here, was like, I am going to recruit. I'm going to bring guys in. What free agents we going to get? Because that's the thing that I feel like has been hurting the Bulls.
Yeah.
Is when it comes to free agents. They skip over us, and I don't know what the reason is. It could be the shadow that Michael Jordan casts on this.
Nobody wants to play on a Michael Jordan.
Exactly, because he like when you think Chicago Bull jersey, it's a Michael Jordan.
You got to break out of that accent. It keeps popping up here and there. Every other word.
I'm trying to break out, but
what do you think that Chicago Bull?
the thing of it is though. That's what I like. Will a free agent ever choose us? Like I'm not expecting Durant. I'm not expecting Klay Thompson. Like those levels to choose us, but. Can we get a guy that's not Jabari Parker? Like, Jabari's not bad, but like you said, doesn't work with this team.
Yeah.
Can we get a guy who's going to be a number 2 to Zach and can be a quality free agent that we get in the offseason?
That's going to be tough. I think our best bet's build through the draft. I think that's why you got to move the pieces you've got, see who's valuable, see what's out there. Hey, Jabari's contract could be valuable still. Teams might pay for that because that's a $20 million fill for this year. Move him off at the end of the year. You're saying
trade him by this deadline?
If he's not fitting and someone wants him, I'm looking to get a second pick. I know this is not the deepest draft in the world so far. The past draft we had, the one that literally just happened a few months ago.
Every few years.
That looks like the 2003 draft. As far as value, look, there are just oozing amounts of talent. Like it's one of the best drafts we've seen, and this is, 2 weeks into this draft class's time in the NBA, and it looks like it's going to deliver on multiple levels. And I mean, we can only hope for the longevity of career that we saw out of that 03 draft class, but it's by far better than out of the last 5 that we've had. It's the best one.
And of course, like drafts always change. Like in the
over time, yeah.
Like in the NFL, I'll bring them in this year. Like look at the quarterbacks. We're back to this year. Yeah. I always bring up the EJ Manuel draft because that's what this crop of quarterbacks reminds me of. Although Herbert's kind of being maybe like the lone one, and like looking at the NBA big board, I'm just going off a Tankathon right now because ours aren't out yet.
Yeah,
you've got Cam Reddish number 1, RJ Barrett number 2, Zion 3, Duke.
Yeah.
Then Nassar Little. Romeo Langford, Quentin Grimes, Ball. That's your top 7.
Yeah.
After 7, it's like you got, I'm probably going to say the first name wrong, but Sekou, Lewis King, DeAndre Hunter. Like, after that, it's kind of like, okay, like, they're not, maybe it's just because the top 3 are so,
yet.
And that's another thing. They haven't played yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to see, this will obviously all change. I'm so excited. When we actually see them start playing. But the one thing I was going to say, and this point I got mixed up from when I did the Michael Jordan accent thing, is the reason why I brought up Stephen A. is because he made a point of fire Fred Hoiberg, and that Fred Hoiberg's the problem. And the thing that I like about this Bulls team and where we're at is in the inner circle of Chicago. Stephen A., you can have your opinion. I don't care about it because you ain't in the inner circle. You're not a Chicagoan. You don't, this is not your team.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've seen from the inner circle of Chicago, it's not like it was a few years ago. I'm not seeing fire Fred Hoiberg all over the place. It's what we're talking about. It's about getting this team. Oh, Jabari. Not that Jabari's the main problem, but this player isn't fitting in. It's not, hey, Fred's system is shit. It's, hey, this player doesn't fit Fred's system.
We're seeing
and that's
success
what I like.
Offensively. We're seeing young talent out there that looks promising. It's everything you want out of a team at the bottom of the standings.
Because remember when Jimmy was here, the Rondo, the D Wade season,
that
it was all fire Fred debacle in the locker room.
That's because we were a playoff team underperforming.
Yes.
Now we're a bad team tanking,
but I mean,
I'll say it.
Even I would say Markkanen's first season a little bit, there was still that little chatter of ooh, Fred Hoiberg, I don't know if he's the right coach.
He wouldn't even give Lowry the ball. We forgot him for quarters at a time in that offense. I feel like because Holiday was trying to show he still had it. There, whatever reason it was. He was underutilized as good as he was and as much play as he got. He was underutilized still. So I just look at this as Fred's got time. It's a young team. I want to just... My last thought is I actually want to just do a straight-up comparison. Be like,
go ahead.
Who do you think's in a better place to succeed right now? Zach LaVine leading the Bulls or Devin Booker in the Phoenix Suns?
Zach LaVine leading the Bulls.
Ooh.
I'm going to say that. Because the Suns...
Devin Booker was a top 10 shooting guard in our rankings, and people thought we didn't have him high enough. I think we had him at 8.
Off the
8 or 9, maybe.
For me, that is a gut react. That was
Zach LaVine.
First thing that came to my mind.
Killing it right now, looking like he can jump from mid court and get to the hoop. There's no problem.
The thing I'm gonna say is, this is the reason why. Let me pull up the Suns.
I mean, both
games
teams are
really
struggling.
Quick. Both teams are around the same. The Kings are 1-7, so they're in the ballpark of where
I will
we're
say
at.
LaVine's playing better than Booker. Obviously, Booker being hurt, but
I'm going to say this, but there's two things with it.
Sure.
First off, we're in the East, they're in the West. So they're behind an 8 ball a little bit because the West is tougher than the East. But I look at their games, minus that first one against Dallas, Denver, common opponent. We lose by 2. They lose 119-91. All right, Golden State, you lost by less points than us. We're just going to put that one aside. Clay had an awesome game. We have Denver that we played better against. You have Golden State that you played better against. But all the other scores, the Lakers, you lose 113-1 or 131-113. Memphis, 117-96. The Thunder, that was a close one. You only lost by 7. San Antonio, 120-90, and then Toronto, 107-98. So a close one by 9. I don't know if it's because the West is just tougher. So, even a team like Memphis in the West is tougher than a Charlotte in the East, or if it could be, hey, let's take it how we see it. The Bulls might be losing some games, but I listed off a lot more closer games with the Bulls than I did the Suns. But I'm going to circle it back to, it may all just come down to one's in the West, one's in the East.
It's true. It's true.
It's interesting, though, because, I
think they're in similar situations, and obviously the Suns have more capital right now because of all the young players they've drafted. But Bulls look pretty promising with their grouping. And I'll
also throw this out there, too. If you look at right now each side of the NBA, East and West, if I look at the East, there's a higher chance that the Bulls can make. They got to make the right moves first off.
Right.
But with Zach LaVine at the head, could become not just a playoff team, but in the future, I'm not saying this year, a 4-5-3 team in the East. Because you've got teams like Boston. They're going to be making some changes in the next couple of years as players get older, contracts they have to give out. Kyrie, where's he going to be? Gordon Hayward. The 76ers of how is that team going to develop? They look good, but they're not looking as good this year as we thought. Milwaukee, what are they going to be like in a couple years? The Raptors, there's more open room than the Warriors. We expect them to not be the Warriors like eventually because
we can only pray that there's an end to that.
But like you look at it and it's like the Nuggets seem to be coming up right behind him. If the Kings develop where they look like they're going now, the Kings might be a team that gets better. The Lakers we expect to be up there. The Jazz are supposed to be up there. Like there are the Rockets. Like there are so many. The Spurs. There are so many more like teams nipping at to become the next Warriors in the West.
Yeah.
Than I would say that are going to stay there in the East. So I mean, I hate to do it, but it just comes down to East and West, and that's why I would say the Bulls and Zach LaVine over Devin Booker and the Suns. Do you think the same thing? Because I know you didn't give a direct answer.
I want to know your opinion on that one. That's why I asked
That was not one where Dave wanted to chime in himself.
I'm on the fence. I'm honestly on the fence. I think Phoenix has a ton of promising young talent, but the Bulls are my hometown team. I don't want to discount them one bit. I just think that the lack of a point guard in Phoenix obviously is the biggest thing contributing to them right now. And the Bulls are working with a backup point guard, which is still much better than, honestly, anything Phoenix can throw out there. So for me, like the success of the team right now makes sense on both ends. But as far as their future, I want to go with the Suns because DeAndre Ayton is just
he looks good.
He a game changer. He was my pick for Rookie of the Year for a reason. Like him and Devin Booker, like there's 40 points a game in every single game. You don't have to worry about. You're just gonna get it. It's gonna roll in the bucket. After that, you got to make things work. But the Bulls, I need to see that second piece. And if we can get Lowry healthy and Zach healthy at the same time, there you go.
We'll see.
Now we're on the same page, but we've got a point guard.
Maybe that is
we've got
the
a
one,
six
too.
man. They've got TJ Warren. We've got Bobby Portis. There's a lot of similarities there. So I'm on the fence. I'm not going to leave my fence. I will hold out until later this season because I want Jabari to actually play.
And I know there's going to be people, no surprise, Ricky went with the homer answer of the Bulls, but that was just my gut reaction. And you know what?
Z, I ain't failing you yet, Z.
It's just East versus West. I mean, the Suns are behind the 8-ball because the West is like the... They're basically the Wild West, and the East is just like
the weak East.
No, I'm not even going to say the weak East. I'm just going to say that the East is a much easier conference than the West, and that's just how it is. Maybe it's a Warrior problem. I don't know, but this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below. What are you thinking after the first 9.5 games? Well, now 9 3/4 games because I think they're done with 3 quarters as we're recording this. During the Rockets game. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section about anything else we talked about. Luke Walton, the Ty Lue situation, our Wet Boys, the fantasy update. Let us know about everything. Housekeeping here at the end. Patreon.com/MostValuedPodcast where you can help support us. We love our patrons. Love having them on each and every month. The support us at the $10 tier and love all of our patrons for everything that they do for us. We can't do what we do without the help of you guys. Also, we have MVP t-shirts. Those are down below in the description. You can get them at mostvaluedpodcast.com and see this magnificent bastard.
Nice.
I tried it. I tried it out. We'll see what it does. He's sporting off the t-shirt on the website. You can also catch MVP each and every day. Then last but not least, iTunes. Go ahead and rate us. Also, tell us what you think about the podcast. Hopefully, you give us a 5-star. And thank you for doing that if you already did. Sean, you'll be back next week. Have a good time in Nashville. But for you guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And as always, have a good day, everybody.